What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, I am reviewing a classic slasher called Prom Night. One of Jamie Lee Curtis's, I would probably say, well, besides like Halloween and then like Terror Train. This is definitely one of her big slashers that came out. It came out in 1980, so like a few years after Halloween. And I watched this movie for the first time. I'm trying to remember. I think when I was like 18. Because it was on. It was like one of the. It was like a. I think it was on Chiller. It was one of those horror channels it was on. And I remember really liking it. Well, I had known the name because of Scream, because they mention it in Scream in the scene where Randy's going on about like the red herring. So it's like I remember thinking like it is very much slow a little bit, like it's not kill crazy. I thought I remembered it being that, but no, like it's kind of a slow burn. It's like, so the premise is it opens up, you see these 11-year-old Wendy, Kelly, Nick, they play hide and seek, and a 10-year-old girl named Robin. They're playing a game together called Kill Kill Kill. Kind of goes, it's one of these like pranks, kind of goes wrong type movies. And so she ends up dying by accident, and they keep it a secret. And then time jump in 1980. The school prom is about to happen, and basically murders start kind of happening. Again, I'll kind of giving you a quick one before I go into the plot. But you have Leslie Nielsen as Mr. Hammond. It's cool seeing Leslie Nielsen, and it's kind of weird seeing him in not a comedic role, because we know him from like Naked Gun and the scary movies, and it's like he's not a comedic actor in this at all. He's the principal of the school, but it was cool seeing him. And Robin's older sister, Kim, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, are planning a prom, and throughout the film, the girls get calls from the killer, and I think the killer himself in the movie is very well done. I like how realistic it is, in the sense of he's kind of a bumbling. He's not like, don't get me wrong, I love my Michael Myers and my Jasons and my Freddys, the more supernatural. But I don't mind when a killer is a bit more realistic. That's why I do like Scream too. It's like, this guy could actually exist. So basically, he starts calling them and taunting them, and you have like the school groundskeeper is one of the characters they make you think is a killer. So along with I'm trying to find the dude's name, but he's like the bully of the movie, and he like even gets into a fight with Kim's boyfriend. And then there's also this like sex offender guy who escaped. So it's like multiple people who you think the killer is. And I think the kills themselves are actually very well done. There are some scenes where it is a little hokey, like when the killer is about to kill, he says like "now," but in like a very like creepy voice. But it kind of comes off hokey, but it's fine. It's 1980. I give things like that a pass. And the chase between the killer and I think the girl's name was Eddie. Yeah, Eddie. Wendy. That's the actress's name, sorry. But a girl named Wendy, she's like the mean girl of the movie. I actually think that was a very well done chase scene. It's a little drawn out at times, but I actually thought it was a solid, and then solid chase, and then a scene where the bully's head gets chopped off, and then Lou, that's what his name was, Lou, gets chopped off and it flies on the stage. That was actually, that's horror right there. So I think overall it's a very decent slasher. I think you'll like it. It's a little bit of a slow burn, But if you're fine with that, it's solid. It's only like an hour and a half. Um, the killer costume is kind of simple. It's just a guy in a ski mask, but it doesn't need to always be something crazy. So, and it's always cool seeing Jamie Lee Curtis. So, um, other than that, tomorrow in the morning, so pretty much right after this video, I am gonna start Orphan. Um, and I'm gonna get ready because I need to watch it tonight. Because tomorrow, because I'm planning to go to my friends tomorrow, and I probably will not be back till really late. And then by the time I get back, I'm probably not gonna want to do a video. So I'm gonna try to get it. I want to try to get it out in the morning. So I'm gonna try to probably watch it after the stream video. Um, but anyway, I want to get ready to start here. And yeah. So the movie opens up. Young Wendy, Jude, Kelly, and Nick are playing hide and seek. And they meet this girl named Robin, who, they think like pretty much is annoying and they don't want her around. So they like start bullying her and teasing her and chanting kill, kill, kill. And they start kind of cornering her to the window, and she accidentally falls out and dies. And then they swear not to tell anyone. So it's one of those kind of stories. And then like the cops are coming, and then you see a figure seer body, who that's basically the killer. So I do like the mystery aspect about it. So time jump. The family are at a funeral or memorial for their daughter. This is where we meet Mr. Hammond, played by Leslie Nielsen, Kim, and and her fraternal brother Alex, getting ready to prepare for prom. And then this is where Kelly, Jude, and Wendy get calls from the killer. And I do think the call scenes are actually very well done. So whoever they got to actually do the voice was pretty creepy. Definitely probably was an inspiration for Scream. That's probably why Scream references it in the movie. Because at least the calls, definitely. And then while this is happening, police think the basically one of the big one of the big red herrings of the movie, who they make you think is the killer, is one like this kind of creepy groundskeeper who looks at the girls, and then the other one is this escaped sex offender, because they even have him like he actually kills a girl at the cop goes to the scene. And he finds a body there, so it turns out that's one of the people he killed. So they make you, and I think they did a good enough job. Like if you've not seen this before, you could easily believe, oh, it's this crazy escaped sex offender guy. So while this is happening, Kim's going with her boyfriend now. Nick, Jude is going with Seymour. And Kelly is going with Drew. And Lou is like, who throughout the film, he's basically like the asshole of the movie. He even gets into a fight with Nick. He's like kind of another one who they make you think is like the killer, because there's a scene like he gets into a fight with Kim's boyfriend, and he even has like a ski mask on. So that was the other thing. So they make you think it's him too. And then he even because he gets like suspended or something. And then Wendy basically has them go together. She's using Lou to kind of get back at Kim. And like I mentioned, it is a little bit of a slow burn because after this point, you do get a scene where the killer is like cutting like their yearbook photos out and stabbing them with glass and smashing glass. So yeah, this is where um, the cop finds out about the sex offender escaping. So like that basically he's the real red herring. There's a couple which I do like, like I do. It is a little bit of a mystery movie. Um, and I will also side point. I will also be doing the sequel because apparently there is a second one, and then there's the remake which I'll also watch. Which I actually enjoyed the remake. It's crazy. This is a case where I actually watched the remake first because I didn't know it was a remake at the time. I just saw it was a horror movie, and this is when I was. This is like I think post when I was getting into Scream, so I was like, "Oh, it's a horror movie. I'll watch it." And I didn't know it was a remake, and then I found out later. So I'll be reviewing both of those soon. So I'm kind of gonna jump because it is a little slow where they're at the dance. I do like the 70s ness of the fucking prom, even though it's the 80s. It just turned 1980, but you still have like the little leftover stuff from the 70s. There's even like a disco thing, and then they have like a dance off. So Kelly and Drew are in the changing room hooking up, and he wants to have sex. It's the classic horror trope, but she's not ready. So he ends up like storming off and is like, I'm just gonna get hooked up with other girls. And then Kelly gets killed by the this is the first like on screen kill of the movie. Where she gets killed with a piece of glass, like a mirror shard. And it was actually pretty brutal. The editing was like I do like the slowness how they did it. And you do that part where he does say now is a little like it isn't as hokey. There are some parts where he says it and I'm like, okay. It's like Silent Night Deadly Night. I like that movie, but when he's screaming punish, it's the same thing there. It's a little hokey. But like I said, not a criticism, it's just a little funny thing. So after killing her, killer disappears. Jude is hooking up with Slick, in the van. It's like another typical horror scene. They're doing drugs, smoking weed, having sex, and then when they're about to have sex, the killer shows up. He initially kills her, and then Slick tries to drive off, and the killer's like hanging on the side. So that's what I mean. I like that realism of this killer is. Granted, this is still like pre-Jason because I think Friday the 13th was about to come out and Jason wasn't in that one, like the Jason we know. So he wasn't like this hulking killer, and even Michael Myers wasn't that until really like Halloween 2 or the later ones. So I do like that, but I do think this scene's a little like in the sense of I would have rather him had just climbed in the car or just stabbed him and then it crashed, but he ends up crashing, and then the car blows up. It's like, okay, that's a little much. It's fine for me. Like I thought it was funny, but it is a little over the top. But whatever. So after that, the movie pretty much goes from head on because this is then where we get the chase between the killer and Wendy. This is actually a very well done chase. I do think it was a little dragged out at times. I'm like, okay, I do kind of think there were some points I'm like, okay, you can end it here. But I do like that it was dragged out a little bit, just in the sense of I do like really good chases in horror. I mean, like the chase scene in Friday Part 2 or Halloween 1 and 2, honestly. Like I do like a good chase scene, hiding in the car, hiding in a room. The scenes where she's trying to get out and the doors don't open, and I actually thought Wendy, the actress, did a decent job in here. Even though she's basically like a bit the bitch the whole movie. Like character wise, this movie is a little weak, but whatever. I am a little lenient on slashers when it comes to characters, minus like Halloween, because it's like a lot of the time you just if you can get the basics right, the kills, the story for the most part, at least on a basic level, and the tension, and I think this movie had some solid tension and decent music. So I do think it's still a decent slasher, even though her character, that chase does make it seem like she's like a main character, like a main lead character, but she really isn't. But I still think the scene was very well done. A little drawn out, but and then the killer finally gets her. So and then the janitor who you see throughout the film sees it, but tries to warn everybody, but they disregard him. And then Lou, with the about to be named school, prom king, gets killed by the killer. It's actually a very well done scene where the head flies onto the stage, and the lights are on it. It's a GIF I used on my Twitter when I announced I was doing this video. Um, so after that, everybody freaks out. They all run out, and then the killer chases the killer chases Nick and Kim, and then we kind of get a bit of a struggle, and then Kim manages to get the killer's axe and hit him in the head, and then the killer runs off. And then I think this was at the moment she realizes who the killer is, and then he runs outside. The cops outside, everyone's outside. He's trying to tell the killer to back up, and the killer doesn't, and he shoots him. And Kim takes his mask off, and it's revealed to be her brother Alex, and that he wanted revenge for what happened to his sister, younger sister. So I thought this reveal was very well done. The scene where he was crying, and he's all bloody, he's kind of crying in Kim's arms. I thought that scene was very well done. Solid reveal, and I actually liked that there wasn't a big chase in the end. I thought the chase with the killer and Wendy was enough. I like that they didn't also have the killer have another chase. Sorry, fucking fly. Fuck. Sorry. Anyway, the killer realizes, so she realizes it's Kim, and she holds him in her hands, in her arms, and he dies out from the wound, and yeah. So and it's crazy. She basically lost two siblings, which is crazy. But overall, I think this is a very well done movie. It's a little bit slow, and it's not a kill fest. It's not let's say some of the later slashers where it was just kill. I think it tried to still tell a story, or where it'd be a Hall, because this was post Halloween. So Friday the 13th, for example, that's more where it was more about the kills. You got a kill pretty even in the first Friday the 13th pretty quick. The kills in this one were drawn out, but I thought it was still a decent movie. I thought it's always cool seeing Jamie Lee Curtis in other horror movies, and I actually thought Kim was a decent character for the most part. I think character wise it's a little weak because none of the characters you really care about. I mean, Alex, the reveal when it's revealed he's the killer was very well done, and I think they did a really good job making you think it was the sex offender, escaped sex offender, but it's actually revealed during the prom that, oh no, he got caught, and that he had nothing to do with this, and he got caught in a way different location. So I think they did a good job with that, with the fake out, and I do think this movie had tension. The only real negatives are characters, really. None of the characters are likable. Even in a hold on. Sorry about that. I'll be back in my normal place soon. But I do I did like the tension. I thought there was some solid kills. Like character wise is the only real weak thing about it, but aside from that, I can give stuff like that a little bit of a pass as long as it's entertaining. I think the tension building was really well done. Some of the kills are pretty well done, even though there's not a lot of them. The only kill I thought was a little over the top was the explosion. I think they could have tried to do something else. Maybe he killer like has like a little knife and he stabs too because the window was open, so he could have just stabbed Slick while he was driving. I didn't need the explosion. I was a little over that. Like, I love Halloween too, but I didn't really like it there either. Like the over the top explosion, I was like, it's a little out of nowhere. But aside from that, I enjoy this movie. I heavily recommend it if you're a slasher fan. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but I think you'll like it. The reveal at the end is very well done. And yeah, tomorrow I will be reviewing Orphan. I think Orphan was a really good movie. I remember watching that around when it came out or a little bit after. Creepy little girl. I have no problem with creepy kid movies. I mean, The Good Son, which that'll be another movie down the line I'll review. The Omen, stuff like that. Children of the Corn. So I like creepy kid movies, and I think this one did it well. The actress who played it's been a while, so like I'm not gonna fully remember her name yet, but the actress who played the little girl did a really good job. So I will be doing Orphan 2 if I'm back at my regular place next week, just because that's on Paramount, and I don't have that over here. So, but yeah, I'll be doing the first one. So the first Orphan's a classic. I think it's one of my favorite horror movies. Creepy little girl. The kills are great, and it's like the classic story of like you're gonna not suspect her. She's a nice little girl, and she does a good job of like fooling the parents and everybody. So I'll be watching that probably right after this video. So yeah, and I'll be reviewing it in the morning. I'm gunning for, or at least in the afternoon at the latest. But yeah. Aside from that, Thursday, I will be doing the first Piranha, not the 2010 one. I'll be doing that one next Thursday. I'm going to do the original one that came out in the 70s, that came out like in that post-Jaws era when there's like there was a bunch of killer animal movies after Jaws, so I figured, why not? It's summer. It's still, tail end of summer, but why not? I'll start doing those movies, so I figured, why not do the original, so I'll do that one on Thursday. But I'll take my final hit, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow in the morning. But, so the original Piranha, I'll be honest, I've never seen. I've seen the two, remakes, Piranha 3D and then 3 Double D, but I've never seen I think I've seen the poster, but I've never seen it, at all. So it'll be a first time, so it'll be interesting. But aside from that, I'll take a hit and peace out. Fuck the Biden administration. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.